second graders, we are moving along on our research report, aren't we? So you've chosen your insect, you wrote down your sources, you did your habitat notes yesterday, and remember you should have at least 3 notes about where your insect lives. Now we take those notes and make them into a paragraph. So I'm going to get mine out of my envelope, which I already did, so it doesn't take so long for you to wait. And here are my notes. Now remember, I already finished mine so that I could show you a completed report. But pretend I only have my my habitat notes done. All right, we're going to do description and diet other days. So here are my habitat notes. I think I showed them to you another day. And I'd like to show you how I put them into sentences, because remember, when we write our notes, they are not complete sentences. They're just the important part of what you read so that you can remember what it means. Okay, so let's look at my first one. My first note says Minnesota, Eurasia, and I didn't know what that meant for sure, so I looked it up and it said from the borders of Europe to the Far East, East Asia, and North America, which is where Minnesota is, right? We live in North America. So that was my first note about habitat. Now let's see how I made it into a sentence. The mourning cloak butterfly lives in North America, including our home state, Minnesota. These beautiful creatures also live in Europe and Asia. So my very first note, which was just one line here, became 2 sentences, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines, because you have to add the words in there to make them complete sentences, right? If you just wrote in your report, Eurasia, North America, is that a good sentence? Is somebody going to want to read that? It won't make sense to them. This makes sense to you because you wrote your notes, right? This made sense to me when I looked back at my notes. But then you need to write them into sentences so your reader understands. Can I also show you something important about my second sentence? When instead of saying the mourning cloak butterfly also lives in Europe and Asia, I changed it to some other words. Instead of saying your insect over and over again, you need to think of other ways to refer to your insect. So this time I said beautiful creature, right? I might have thought of something else in a different paragraph, and we'll look later. But it will be boring for your reader if you keep repeating your insect name over and over. So in this, if I had said mourning cloak, it would go, the mourning cloak butterfly lives in North America, including our home state, Minnesota. The mourning cloak butterfly also lives in Europe and Asia. The mourning cloak butterfly lives where their food is. See what I mean? You keep saying it over and over. You really should just say it once, maybe twice in a paragraph. Think of other ways you can refer to your insect. So you can borrow my idea of beautiful creature if your insect is beautiful. Maybe you have an insect that's kind of scary looking, so you could say, this scary creature. Or maybe you have an insect that is slow. Maybe you have this slow insect lives, whatever. So think of different ways you can refer to your insect, okay? But then you go through all your notes and make them into sentences. You might not do them in the exact same order that you took the notes, because look at this. my second note about habitat was willows, poplars, elm, hackleberry, and birch leaves. And I put an arrow from host plants up to there because that's what they like to eat. But look what my next sentence is in my report. They live where their food is. Where was that note? Down here. It was the 5th one. Live where host plants grow. So I did that out of order because it made more sense to me to say that. So here were my first two about the countries and continents they live on. Then I said they live where their food is. That means they like willow, poplar, elm, hackleberry, and birch trees. Okay, so I did that a little bit out of order. Then I wrote, look at my sentences here. They also live around the edges of rivers. Here's my river part. Riparian areas border rivers. So that's where that sentence came from. I changed it to they also live around the edges of rivers because I thought that would make more sense to my readers. Okay? So you're going to go through your notes. Maybe you want to decide before you even start writing your sentences, decide which one should come first, second, third. You decide what makes sense, okay? And then you make them into sentences. Now remember, we are doing one of our text features. What is it called? It's at the top of the paragraph. What's at the top of your body? A head, right? This is called a heading. So you're going to write habitat, then you're going to indent and write your sentences. Don't forget capitals and periods. Don't forget to be very neat. And then I would really like for you to show one of your parents, or maybe you have an older brother or sister. That would be really good. Oh, I'm so sorry. At looking at your paragraph and telling you where you need to put in some capitals or periods. They can edit for you, that's called. And you can erase and fix your mistakes and then send it to your teacher. There might still be some mistakes that you didn't notice, and we will tell you if there are, and you can fix them, okay? All right, have a good time getting your notes into a paragraph, just one paragraph. So you should have at least 3 sentences in your paragraph, and you might have, like I have, let's see, what do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 6. You might have 6 also, but you must have at least 3. Okay? Work hard. Send us a picture. Have a good day.